So it's time for a new update. Okay, so most things are out. The greenhouse has been taken down, and look at that. There's blooms everywhere. It's really nice. It's still been cold though, so some plants are not amazing, but they're doing okay. But look at this. This is the mulberry that I started from a huge cutting a couple years ago, I want to say, and he's doing really well. Hey, Poochie. He has a whole bunch of new growth, and look at all these berries. Where, I don't know if you can see them. There's this guy right here. Where's my finger? See, that's how they're supposed to look when they're ripe. But right now, a lot of them are still pretty red, not quite black yet. But they're doing okay. They taste okay. They would taste better if this planter got a little bit more water, because this is the hottest part in the yard. But he's doing okay. The cactus is doing fine as well. He hasn't started making little pads yet, but we're looking forward to that. The jujube has woken up already. Look at that. Look at that. He's already starting to make the flower buds. Where are you? So they're tiny. They haven't opened up yet though, so it's still early, but he's awake. And then we have a few things just kind of around. Look at this fig. He's kind of ridiculous. Like, what is that? Look at this leaf. Look at this huge, humongous leaf. Yeah, on that little tiny tree. He really liked the compost tea, I'm guessing. And then there's an olive tree. He's doing really well, but he's not actually in a big planter. He's supposed to be planted into that one, but he's in a smaller planter inside. And then in here I had a jackfruit, but he didn't make it. But the longevity made it, although it looks like he has aphids or something down here. Something's going on. And then beans. We planted beans just randomly, and some of them are coming up. And then the snap peas are getting ready to go. This year I didn't have a lot of them. I didn't actually plant them. I didn't plant enough, really. So the ones that did make it through winter were struggling at first, but still they made some, and they're really good. They're my favorite kind. I bought some down in LA and transplanted them, but they never made it to full size. Look at that. That's pretty much one of them. And then there's, I don't know, I had a few. There's still, I think this one got bigger. This one down here. This one was one of the ones from LA as well, and he got bigger than the other one, but not quite as big. And then look at this. That right there is our loquat. He's gone big. We're excited because we were thinking he was growing really slow, but this year he has definitely like doubled in height, and his leaves are really big too, so I'm thinking he's happy. Then we have a collard that was actually a volunteer. We didn't plant any this year, so that's exciting. And then we got some basils down in LA, and they, as soon as we planted them, they just started bolting. Like, this is the better looking one. This one hasn't quite bolted yet, but he's on his way. Look at that. But oh, and the borage is just full of seeds now. Yeah, he I don't know, he didn't quite get that big, but the one in the back it did, so it's okay. And then that's the goji. He's see this guy right here, he's getting bigger every year. He did get stressed out though, so I think that caused him to delay his flowers, but he's working on them. Oh, spider mites. But yeah, basically we changed out the soil, the top layer. There were a whole bunch of grubs in here. I cleaned it all up. I actually ended up taking a lot of the soil out because we needed something for something else really fast. And then we replaced it, but he didn't like that. But this guy has been fine. But this guy is a little bit more shaded, so his flowers do come in a little bit later than the other one anyway. But it's really not a big deal. They seem to both be doing fine. And look at this. This is the mulberry. This is the Pakistan mulberry. And he's filling in. We actually cut down the middle section because he died last year, so we actually cut it down, and now all his side branches are doing really well. But his mulberries are smaller this year. Hey, kitten. King of the jungle right there. And he's gonna jump into the roof. But see, they're really small. Normally they're about this size or twice that big, actually. Twice as much, but they're okay. I mean, as long as the plant is fine. We're just trying to keep it safe considering it's in a planter. But John made some cuttings last year, so I'm hoping that those worked out downstairs. And this is what is this? I forget. This is Rangia mushroom plant. So it's a leafy, but it tastes like mushrooms. So John was really interested in them, so we're gonna try them this year. They're really cool. They're really cool looking so far. And then back here we have some mint. And also we went shopping in LA and bought a whole bunch of plants, and that was like one of the happiest days. And then there's the tamarind here. The tamarind struggled. He was actually doing really well indoors. We had him indoors for winter. We had him in my office, so my office was really oddly lit for like a while. But he was doing great until the end, where my kitties started sleeping on it. Like they started sleeping in this area and this area because we don't have the mint here, and they condensed the soil so much. I mean, it was just not good, and we think that they may have peed in there. We're not sure, but I don't know. It just, it stayed wet a little longer than expected. So and then this is the chaya. We kept them indoors as well with the tamarind inside. So we brought him out this, once the freezing stopped, or once we thought it was going to stop. It still froze a few times after that. But he's doing okay. He's not doing amazing, but he's doing better than last year. Last year at this time, he was just really little sticks. So this year we're going to make more cuttings. And then this one's new to us this year. Last year we got a cutting somewhere down in LA as well. But he's not doing so hot. I'm not quite sure what happened here. This is seriously just like new. I don't know. And then there's this, guys. There's the lemongrass. We're struggling with the lemongrass right now. I don't know if it's the weather or what's going on. Oh, and see, there's little crane flies down there. A lot of people call them mosquito eaters, but they're actually not mosquito eaters. They don't eat mosquitoes. They just they lay eggs inside the soil, and those eggs hatch into some grubby looking things that eat your roots. So that's not cool. So that might be a problem with the soil. But look at all this mint. I forget what mint this is. Oh, I think this is the basil mint. Oh no, this is peppermint. Where's the basil mint? Basil mint. There we go. Is it this one? Yes, look at this. It actually smells like basil. It's weird, but it's nice, so we'll take it. Some little snapdragon in there. And then the chirimoyas. I actually started a whole bunch. John brought a fruit from LA. The fruit itself wasn't great, actually. They usually taste really good, but that one fruit wasn't optimal. But yeah, so I planted a whole bunch, and I had them in the office, and they were stuck in one bowl. I had like, I don't know, I had close to 50 seeds in one bowl, like a salad bowl. So they were really, really tangled in there when I pulled them out. See, look at this guy. This guy, he couldn't open up his seed in time, so he just started growing out of it. It's kind of cute. And look at that. So yeah, so these guys are actually from that bowl. I have some other ones that I actually did beforehand that look a little bit better, but yeah, these guys are struggling. And then here's another fig tree. We have a whole bunch of fig trees right now. They're all doing really well. They're some of the first ones to wake up. And then this pepper's doing amazing, except that he's not making peppers yet. But that's okay. I actually topped him so that he wouldn't work on the peppers so much and work on growing side growth, so that he can get bigger and make more peppers in the end. So he's doing that, but it's just, I'm impatient. And then this guy's right here. These ones are actually strawberry spinach. So these leafies are edible, and then they're gonna make some little berries that are edible. I've never had the berries, but the leaves so far, they taste like regular spinach, but they're producing in this heat. Well, because it gets really hot during the day sometimes. So I don't know, they're doing okay in our weather. They're doing really well. Yes, Poochie, I know. And then we have more olives here. This is amazing for teas when I have a sore throat. And then we assume this is a peach. We're not quite sure. It was it just kind of grew out here. It was a stone pit, that's all we know. And look, little Chaya. This one was actually in the greenhouse, and he actually made it, but he didn't grow at all. He's tiny. And we finally have purslane coming up. I say finally, even though it's early, but still, I'm like really excited. Hi, I know, I'm gonna show them this too. Okay, so here, I had lotus plants last year, and they were doing really well, but I started them really late. So I, protected them during winter, and forgot my coffee, and it was great. Oh, this mint looks gross. It was great, but this year I brought them out. Oh, okay, so my phone decided to interrupt my thing. Anyway, so I took it out, and they were growing fine, and then something came around and turned my planter over inside. So the plant was broken a little bit, and I tried to fix him, but so far he has not come back, and by now he should have. So I think I need to start them from seed again. So it's a whole year's worth of work, but that's fine. It's fun. And then this guy, check this guy out. He's gone big. He really likes that we gave him a bigger planter. It's not much bigger, but last year he was in a tiny terracotta, but he's grown a lot, so it's kind of nice to see. And then here we have another fig. Last year he really struggled, so we decided to protect his bark with some toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, stuff like that, just to protect it from the sun, because we thought he was burning, but it's not doing much of a difference. But he's growing on the side. He's just having trouble retaining his water, so that's an issue. And then I have rue. Look at the flowers on rue. Oh, I just spilled coffee on me. Okay, look at this. They are so pretty. And they almost seem like they're wet. It's weird. They look like they have honey around the center part. Oh, there's a hummingbird somewhere here. But yeah, so I really like rue. Really better, but it's good. And look at this. This right here, I actually started this from a cutting. There's a branch that just broke off, and I just tucked it in there, and he actually started growing, and it's making this, and this guy's taste amazing. But I'm just gonna let him bloom a little. And see, that plant came from this guy right there, the collar tree. Yeah, this year he didn't get as bushy as he did last year, but he did lose quite a few branches that we started into cuttings now, so that thing's still working out. And then here are some sunchokes. And the vincas, they survived all winter. That's the first, I don't know if it's the first time, I can't remember anymore. But normally they die in winter, like really bad. And this time they're fine. This is my violeta. And I really like this plant. I love the flowers. They start blooming in winter. So I actually have flowers in winter thanks to this, guys. And look at this. Even the seeds are like, the seed pods are amazing. They're super cute. However, they get so many pests. They always end up with aphids, whiteflies, spider mites. I don't know. So yeah, but they tend to look really pretty in winter. And then that's my last rose bush in a planter. That one right here. Everything else has been planted in the ground. And then I have some stuff over there that's just supposed to go in the ground. But we haven't had a chance to do that because we've been working on other stuff actually. Okay, so my phone keeps cutting me off, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. So let's try this again. Okay, so this guy is not doing that great this year, but we have some purslane growing down here, some little tinies. So I'm hoping that those start growing soon. If not, I'm just gonna redo the whole thing. There's a few other things that I wanted to try out anyway, but I mean, even the rue is doing so poorly. It's just not doing okay. But look at all this cool stuff. So all of this stuff I overplanted just because it was a new garden bed, and I just wanted to make sure that there was something in here. So it goes all along there. Normally we just have pavers here and put planters on top, but we decided to actually plant in there. So we cleaned it up, we dug some, we dug up the soil, replaced it with good soil in the sections that we were planting, and so far it's doing okay. This, guys, I think I'm actually gonna get some snap peas out of it, so that's exciting. I love snap peas. And then here's another cutting. Look at this guy. He goes all the way down here. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, look at that. He goes all the way to the ground. He's a cutting. And same thing with this guy back here. So we got some cuttings, and they're doing really well. I didn't know they were easy to do cuttings from. But yeah, this is the mother plant, so look at that. And we loved that plant. We got lucky with that one because we didn't realize it was a tree, a collar tree. And then we have some, I think it's an Armenian cucumber over here, right there. Some calendulas that are still just coming up. Oh, the eggplant doesn't look so great. He's been struggling ever since we put him in here. I think he struggles for water. But he's a Japanese long eggplant. And then we have some sunflowers that are doing amazing. However, there's some sunflowers up on the hills here that are doing even better. Look at that. There's like that one right over there. It's, yeah, there's a few. And then there's that whole patch back there. That one was actually grown by the birds. I didn't plant any of that. And then there's more sunflowers here. There's a zucchini, and the zucchini plant's actually already making fruit, so that's exciting because it's harvesting time soon. I've been harvesting a lot of stuff, but it's mostly been flowers and leafy stuff. And look, there's more coming up. Yay! Yeah, so I actually this section just filled in so fast. I wasn't prepared for that, but it requires a lot of watering, and there's no drip system up here. It's just for the roses that we have installed a drip system for. So yeah, gonna have to work on that. And then there's a mound here, amount of soil, which tells me that there's a gopher around because I didn't do that. And then look at all this, guys, all this papalo seeds. I've been planting them, but it's I'm not always very good at planting. This is how I plant my seeds a lot of the time, which is why they don't always come up. See, look at that. Yay, done. I'll probably cover it with that sand, actually. That would be good. And then we have more sunchokes. I actually planted sunchokes there, and then they're basically every so often. So hopefully they'll grow tall, and I figured the beans could grow on them because these guys are beans. Although I'm not even sure if I planted bush beans or I don't know. I just kind of do. I don't really plan ahead too much. And look at this. This is a strawberry spinach again. And this guy's actually already working on his little berries. So I don't know what they're going to taste like, but I think they're going to be fine. I mean, really, if they don't taste that great, I can just give them to the chickens. But these guys have been producing so many leafies. It's actually, we haven't been able to keep up with these plants because they've been so productive. So that's exciting. And then another sunchoke. Ooh. Then I planted marigolds. They came up pretty fast. I was actually surprised as to how fast they came up, but then they just kind of stayed there. So I don't know what's going on. And then this pepper plant was struggling. He was getting too much sun. Now with this guy in the afternoon, he actually gets shaded a little bit, and because this guy has grown, he gets shaded a little bit now. So this is filtered sun right now that he's getting. But when we just planted him, this guy was like tiny. This guy was tiny, so he was getting just burned, and that's why all his older leaves look like that. When they get too much sun, they actually start turning it over, and that's what he was doing. So I'm learning, yay. And look, there's more marigolds that got just munched on. There's, yeah, yeah, poor littles. This is sunchoke, and then sunflower. They look so similar. Love those. I think they're in the same family, actually. And then I have some nasturtiums. They have been getting munched on, apparently. The nasturtiums are looking really nice, actually. Look at this. They've been filling in. They actually make this really nice wall for me to look at. This whole area is just flowers. Those nasturtiums, snapdragons. I'm gonna have well, more nasturtiums, but then I'm gonna have the little berries. Then the roses back here. Then there's the sunflowers. There's a peach tree back there, and then there's a, you know, I thought it was artichoke, but it's actually a thistle back there. But they're still really pretty, so I don't mind them. But yeah, look at this, snapdragons. Look at that. Oh, and basically everything on this side is edible. Everything, 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 everything. So it's actually quite a bit. And these guys look great in flower arrangements, actually. They last a few days too. But yeah, taste-wise, they're just all right. But they are, you know, it's good to have variety. And plus, if it's edible and it looks pretty, I'll take it. It tastes kind of like radishes, but there's radishes that are like spicy. And that's kind of what they taste like spicy radishes. But they're really pretty. They're really colorful. And yeah, so we have that going on there. But let me show you this, actually. Okay, so let's come back to this. Okay, so look at this. This is some more sunchokes. I have some okras coming up. Oh, and I have some okras coming up here somewhere too. They're just too small for me to look at them right now. More sunchokes. And this guy, oh, I'm so excited about this guy. And he has a whole bunch of new growth that I think is looking really good. When we planted him, he was struggling a little, but not much really, because immediately he started growing stuff down there. And this is my pineapple guava. I've been looking for one forever and I found it, so yay. And then there's this little pepper. This is a serrano. Yeah, serrano hot pepper. And he's doing okay. He was getting a lot of sun, so I was having to protect him every now and then. But now this guy's doing the job, so I'm excited. Let's take my coffee. And then onions, which, by the way, marigolds and onions are supposed to be deterrent for pests and whatnot. So far, I don't find that to be true, but, you know, we'll keep trying. And then there's my tobacco. Oh, he looks sad right now. He's gonna perk up, though. He always looks like that in winter now. So we're starting to get to know him. The loquat in here is not doing well. So that's, you know, some things. And this is my yerba santa here. And this guy, this guy actually stayed out here in winter. He had a little tiny greenhouse around him, but not enough, I guess, because he still struggled. This guy's doing awesome. Look at those flowers. Oh, I love those. And then the little flower heads, they taste so good. And then my mom, she gave me this chayote here. So this guy right here, she actually planted this. So I need to transplant that. But also I took him out yesterday and he is not doing super great. He got a little yellowish overnight. So I'm thinking he got cold, but hopefully he'll get used to it. He's still young, I don't know. And then here's another little baby right here. It's like they plant a lot of stuff and then they give it to me, and then I don't know how to make it be magical like they can. Oh, look at the dragon fruit. He's coming up. Well, I mean, he has all these guys, but this guy's got stepped on. They got burnt. See, this was burnt by the sun, so that's not cool. Okay, so I think we pretty much got everything. Look at our fire pit. We finally put it up outside again. We just need to get a tray for it again. I really liked it a lot better when it was underground with a little rock pile around it. It was really pretty, but it's okay. Oh, I forgot this, guys. Okay, so check out my yarrow. This is edible. It's medicinal, actually. But I actually have some that I can use because most of the time it's just in the ground. Okay, so for some reason it keeps cutting me off, but okay. Let's keep going. And this is my bougainvillea. I started this guy from a cutting too, and he's bigger this year. He actually stayed outside this year, no cover or anything. And he stayed out with the violeta, but look at the violeta. He's got scales everywhere. Oh, they're so gross. Oh, come on. Let's see. See, those are scales. Those are gross scales. So, yeah. And then the kumquat is really struggling now. I don't know if we pampered him too much by putting him in the greenhouse, but he's got a lot of yellow leaves. We thought it was water at first, so we gave him a tray. We started watering him, and no, that wasn't it. So, yeah, we'll see. Oh, look at that, the little hyacinths. They made it through winter, so yay. And then I have some more jackfruits. Jackfruits, they struggled a bit. I just wasn't nice when I transplanted them. I just made sure that they were out. And look at that. So I think that's it's really exposed here right now, so I might have to wait for the shade. Oh, but you know what? We can do this side. Let's see. Look at this. My lavenders are starting to come back. Hi, Poochie. Yes, I know, pretty. And then I have this guy is about 2 years old or 3 years old now. This poppy. And what I figured out is that if I water him, he gets moldy. If I don't, and just water my plants around him, then he's totally fine. So, yay, easier on me. Then some more lavender. I've been collecting some of the lavender, but I don't have enough yet. I wish I had more. And there's rosemary. And look at this, sunflowers. These guys are doing really nice. And then, see, this is our peach tree right here. And he's doing okay. He took the transplant really well. And then there's a sunflower there. This pine tree actually grew out here on his own. So we're just letting him be. And then this is a sunflower patch. There's a lot in here. There's a lot. It's all gonna look really nice. These Jack's resting place. And then I have some sweet peas that are just starting to bloom. Yay. And then his vinca survived as well. And then I have some vincas over here. I mean, some snapdragons here. Oh, my seeds need water. This is a morning glory seed. And I have some more over on this side. Seedlings, morning glory. And then my lavender. And, oh, the water. It needs more water. But then there's also that. Look at that. The archway is coming along nicely. It's nice. And now let me show you my sage. Look at this, my white sage. He's doing okay. I've watered him maybe once or twice since I transplanted him here. He's this guy. Yeah, he was not cheap, and considering he's a weed, you know. Yeah, so I just like to make sure that I get the right plant, so I actually paid for it. And now that I know it, now that I know how it smells, what it feels like, I would feel a lot more confident, you know, picking one in the, you know, on the side of the road or whatnot. That's where they always grow, according to people. So, look at this guy. Here's another loquat. He's doing okay. He got transplanted into the ground, so we're thinking this guy's gonna do the best of them all. And this is the one that had the French sorrel, and the French sorrel just went crazy. So we're excited about that. But yeah, he's right over here behind the little garden section. And then here's the thistle that I was telling you about. It's really pretty. Our artichoke is actually just struggling. And this guy, oh look, he's already making flowers. Cool. Yeah, this guy has a whole bunch of aphids. Ours looks like that, but with way less leaves. So, yeah. And let's see. And then the mulberries here on the hedge, they're starting to come. Look at this. All of this little... Oh, look at this. So all of these guys are edible, except that they're not ripe yet. Mine are ripening up faster, actually. Interesting. But yeah, so let's see. I think they're all gonna be clips today. Okay. And look at the archway that we're making here. This is actually mulberries. Um, we let a few strands grow up last year. See how they're just starting to grow up. So we let a few, and somebody came by and cut them. We're not sure who came by and cut them, but they left us one. So that actually was enough to come and tuck it in here. But look at all this. It's got little berries. It's so cute. I love this archway. So those guys, the ones that are going up, we're just gonna wrap them on and so on, so to make it look pretty. But yeah, I like that archway. And then over here we have some beans that are not doing great. They keep getting munched on. But we kind of expect, well, I expected that. Yeah, there's a lot of bugs around here, little pill bugs. And this is a kiwi. That's a hardy kiwi. That's new to us this year, so we'll see how it does. That's a male one, I believe. And then there's sunchokes. These guys came back. Yay. And then we have some, you know, just bulbs coming up. And let's see. This is another kiwi. This is a female. I don't know how it's... This one is doing better than the other one. But overall, I'm not sure. I don't have any reference to that, so I don't know. Little snapdragon right there. Then more beans. And we had some sweet peas, not snap peas. Sweet peas. So we have some here. But we don't know why in here they're so small. And downstairs by the orchard, they're huge. So I don't know what's up with that. And then we finally bought a collard tree. We've been looking for a collard tree for ages. We follow John Kohler online, so we're always looking for those. Or the purple, we haven't found yet, but this one we found at CPG, and they had it for such a good price. We had to bring it over. So he got transplanted. He was struggling at first, but now he's doing okay. And look at this. We're just making it wild in here. This guy kind of grew from cuttings, not on purpose. We actually just cut down some pieces from the grapes downstairs, and we just kind of put it down as mulch, but we didn't chop it down enough. They were like big sticks, and well, something grew. And then there's blackberries back there. There's a pineapple sage, sunflower. And then this little kale we transplanted last year. He survived all winter. He looked amazing. And now he's getting infested with aphids, which is weird. And then there's my rose. I love that rose. That's my favorite rose ever. And then there's more mint. And I know people are going to tell me not to plant mint in the ground. But, you know, yeah. And then this is epazote. He's actually just coming back because we buried him completely. He was actually not sticking out that much, so we thought he might die, but he didn't. Yay. Some more lavender. Lavenders are just starting to bloom. Although they have bees all throughout the day. It's really cool. And then this is more epazote right here. Look at all this. And actually, I cut half of this for my mom. So it was actually up to about here. So I cut off like the whole top half and took that to my mom because those are the better pieces anyway. Then my persimmon finally got planted in the ground. And he is doing amazing. Well, he's doing so much better than he did in a planter. We're really excited. We're hoping that this year we'll get a persimmon out of it. Yeah, hoping. Yeah, so I think for right now that's gonna have to be it. I'll do the other sections later when it's a little bit shadier in here because it's the sun's on me, which is nice because it's cold, but it's really not great on the camera. You can't really tell what it is. But look at this, guys. I have this, guys, and I've been harvesting flowers for hydrosol, for tea, for just, you know, dried petals. I've been harvesting this, guys. I don't know, this whole month. But I've gotten two huge harvests. So yeah, there's plenty to go around. It's like the more I cut, the more I get, and it's kind of hard to keep up. But that's a good problem to have. Yeah. A big one. You know, I'm not sure they're loving it.
This isn't McDonald's anyway.
And then there is... We seriously have like the...
Worst thing.
Yeah.
Or the best thing.
Okay, so take a look at this. This is a persimmon flower. I've never seen one before. This one's down here, so we actually got to see it. Normally, I just see that this section right here, and I assumed that was it. That's all I ever see up here. But look at that. Yeah, there's little flowers. Oh, that's so cute. I've never actually seen them. Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, so we managed to come down here for a second here. And that's the pomegranate. He's doing amazing. The apple trees are waking up. The pecan tree is huge. That's the, I want to say apricots back there. And then some almonds, apples, etc. And the roosters are going crazy. And then the cilantro, it's all going to seed now. But it's tastes really good still. So that's nice. And hi Pepsi, little Pepper. We have some plants just going wild. We have a lot of mallow, and we would be harvesting that, except that it got rust. Like, it's, these guys are okay. These guys are fine, but most of them around here have rust, and I don't want to eat that. So we haven't been. Then we have some tomatoes just planted in between. It's been a struggle trying to get down here, trying to have time to do a whole bunch of work, because I mean, taking all of that out takes a while. But yeah, really tiny short clip. I'll see if I can get down here soon again. Yeah, because yeah, my time's up. I gotta go. Okay, so we have some shade. We can definitely do this. Okay, so on this side we have everything here did fine during winter. Hi, Double. So we have this guy's over here. Lantanas. They're not blooming yet, and this branch actually came back. I wasn't sure if he was going to. There were two big branches, but now there's only one. There's also this guy over here. The sunrose. They're so pretty. I like those. And recently I read somewhere that that they're edible. So I'm not sure about that. I want to double check. Also, I want to make sure it tastes good too. So I need to read more about it. And there we have a little tiny cactus. We actually forgot that we planted him here, so that's a surprise. And then that's our artichoke. See what I mean? With he was getting just infested with aphids, and you can see it down there. It's not looking great. So we chopped a whole bunch of leaves back. So he's not looking that great, but overall he's fine. He'll bounce back. I'm not really concerned about him much. He seems to do fine on his own. And then we have a hollyhock here, so hopefully he'll start blooming soon. Most of them are already making flower buds, and he hasn't yet, so hopefully he'll catch up. And look at this, guys. These little guys made me flowers like 2 years ago, but not last year. I can't remember. But they're pretty, but I thought they were big, and they are not. So, and then we have a whole bunch of aloes. These are the ones that we didn't want to have in planters, just because they have big thorns. I mean, they hurt. They're sharp, and I don't know, they angle backwards, so anytime you're walking by, they just grab onto you. It's not fun. So if you can avoid that aloe, I would definitely avoid it. There's some that have way less spikies on the sides. Like, see that guy over there? He's not doing great, but basically he has big enough leaves that I could just chop them off all at, I don't know, it's worth it if I'm gonna get poked. So, and let's see what else. Look at this. Oh, the fennel is doing okay. You know, I keep when I go hiking, I keep seeing caterpillars on these guys. Around summer, actually, that's when I see the caterpillars on them. But mine has yet to have a single one, which I'm not sure if I should be happy about or not. But I really want butterflies, so you know, I'm like, monarchs coming over, but they're not listening. then the calendulas down there, that's actually one plant that's been around for 2 years now. He survived the whole year, so that's something. And then this is my silver leaf something. I have yet to see him bloom, but I'm sure that when it happens, I am gonna be in love. I just haven't seen it. And then there's the goji cutting. We've done a few goji cuttings, and they're so easy to start with cuttings apparently in early fall. So we're gonna have a million. And then here is my lavender. This is the bigger one we have. We have a few actually in the area. We have this guy here. We have this one right here. We have the one up there. We have one by the gate over there. We have some in a bottle tower over in the back. We have, I don't know, just everywhere. But this is the biggest one. And he's getting even bigger. Look at that. Actually, I think that might be 2 plants, but I don't know. You can't really tell the difference. And then the aloes are starting to bloom. See, this one is the same variety than the one that poked me over on the other side. But, you know, I don't know. They all have something pretty, I guess. Look at that. In spring, we always get their little fire stick things. And, oh, and this guy, I need to trim him back. He is getting wild. Yeah, this is the one that I want to shape like a palm tree. But you can't even see the shape right now. Oh. And then this is I think this is an onion. I don't think this is a leek. I'm pretty sure this is an onion. Basically, this is where we dump out a whole bunch of our food scraps, just as, you know, like, see, there's a tea bag here. There's corn husks. It's basically just mulch, and it just keeps recycling itself, and it's actually building up the dirt, and it's making it really good dirt. But yeah, every now and then something grows. So we have this guy here. This is an onion. And look at this. This is a little avocado. And he survived the winter. Okay, so we've grown so many avocados, and we always have to baby them in winter. This guy, we just let him be. I mean, we did help out by just putting a little bit of mulch around him whenever we noticed that he was, you know, that it was getting low. But this is all him, all winter. Like, this is amazing. And more snapdragons here. This guy just started blooming. He'll bloom more later, I think, but he just started blooming. And then look at this. This is another bulb. I don't know what it looks like. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty. Oh, and this guy over there, he has the prettiest flowers. He actually looks really nice too, but we've been shifting him forward, so we keep covering him. And yeah, so he hasn't gotten any bigger than this. But he looks really pretty, and then his flowers are beautiful, so I'm looking forward to that. And then more calendulas, and then the coconut husks. You can see them in various levels of decomposition. Like, see, this guy's already all black. This guy's a little more recent. If I try and step on him, I probably won't be able to break it quite easily. But eventually they work down enough that they break down into this. And then this breaks down into some other stuff. But the husk itself, once it breaks down a little bit more, it's going to be able to retain water. So it's nice to have you know, different things here. Oh no, kitten. Kitten's feeling sick. Okay, and we're back. So yeah, so it's just good to have different kinds of you know, things breaking down, and it's good to see the composition process too, because it kind of helps me figure out where, in, you know, when the soil's good and when it's not. And then look at this. It's good to add the matter into this, because this is the soil that we walked into. Basically, there's a whole bunch of rocks. It's chalk rock and just clay. So that's not awesome. But we're adding a whole bunch of stuff like that, and, you know, eventually it's gonna improve it, and the plants are gonna grow a little bit better. Because here we're only getting plants that can take these conditions, but we're not, anything else that we've planted hasn't really come up. We plant seeds, they don't really come up. It's kind of hard to grow anything in this section, except for stuff that, you know, thrives in poor soil. But little by little, it's gonna get even better, so that's fine. And look at these potatoes. Yeah, we think this is getting pushed out by another potato or something, because things are growing and things are just starting to bulge out. Things that weren't showing before are showing now. So we think we might have a harvest in there somewhere, but we're not going to, because this is just the side garden. This is not edible. But yeah, oh yeah, this is where we actually put our waste. And I should add a layer of soil on top of that, just to make it easier for the red wigglers to eat and go through that stuff. But it's working out anyway, and smell has not really been an issue. In summer, I'm pretty sure we'll have to keep an eye on it, but for now it's fine. And this little succulent thing, he doesn't look so great right now, but he was beautiful just like a week ago. And for the whole first, I don't know, actually whole March, it was, no, I'm gonna say April, all April, it was really nice. I'll put a video or a picture of this section. It was so bright, it was so nice. And then this guy's starting to take over, so that's good. It's taken a while, but like I said, the soil there's not great, so we'll see. And then this is our lantana. This is the one we've had for a while now too, and he's doing great. We actually trained him to go up higher last year, but then he ended up not doing it. And then he froze, the piece died, I don't know, so we just chopped it off down there, and now he's a shrub. I think I'm giving up on the lollipop idea just because I don't have the time for it, but eventually I might just come by and just chop everything and leave the little top, so just make it like a little lollipop eventually. I'm not sure. And then, see, we really don't take care of the aloes out here, but if we did, this would look, you know, really nice. This guy's have flowers too, but they're not blooming yet. This guy's bloom later. And then I have a morning glory seedling here, and then I have a cutting for the mosquito plant, citronella. So I'm testing that out. I've never tried making cuttings from them, but so far they've been alive here in the soil for at least 2.5 weeks. So that's, you know, it's kind of encouraging. And then snapdragons we already saw. Oh, okay, so this guy, he got transplanted here last fall, I want to say. It was one of the last things to get transplanted, but he's doing okay. He was actually in a really small planter, and he was like just toppling over every so often. So it's good that he's got his own planter now. And then he does have sunflowers. Basically, he got wet. Basically, we overwatered him, and he was outside, and we needed him to dry up a little bit faster. So I just put a whole bunch of sunflower seeds just so that they would sprout and, you know, collect all the excess water. And they seem to be doing the job now. At first, they weren't. They were too small. And then this is a mamoncillo that looks like he's coming back. So I am really excited if he does, because this is one that my mom gave me. I grew some from seed, but this is one that my mom gave me, so this is actually older. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping. And then, oh, this pepper. He survived in the greenhouse this year. And this is a Fresno chili pepper. And I like him. Last year he was super productive. So yeah, he doesn't have any leaves down here, but I think they're starting to come back. It was just in the cold, you know, in the cold they didn't want to grow anything. But look, he's got, oh, look at this, all these pests. That's gross. Yeah, okay, and oh, little baby chirimoya. Every now and then I have like a little plant that I'm like, well, I don't know if it's gonna make it. I'll just tuck it in somewhere. And a lot of the times they make it after that. It's so weird. And my radishes. So I've tried to grow radishes quite a few times now, and I have yet to get a decent one. I at least used to get some little round babies, but now it's gotten worse. I mean, there's nothing. Look at this. This is how my radishes end up. So yeah, I don't know. And then this is little pepper. He was actually struggling last year, but I think he was, I don't know what kind of pepper this is. Might be a sweet pepper, probably a sweet pepper, but he's making a whole bunch of new blooms, new little baby bud flowers. Where are you? baby buds. Yeah, there you go. See, he's making a whole bunch of them. He's doing a lot better now. He didn't like the cold. When we brought them out, it froze a couple nights after that, so they got stressed. And then there's this chirimoya here. He's actually pretty big, but he's not happy. So the soil down there, I suspect it's too much clay soil, because in here we actually used a bit of the ground soil. We just dug some up and transplanted him just because we wanted to transplant him. It was time, and we didn't. I'll see, he just dropped a leaf, and we didn't. I don't know. We didn't have soil, so we did that, and we're kind of, well, I'm kind of regretting that now, because yeah, he's not happy. I water him, and then he stays wet for too long. It's an issue. Oh no! Look at this longevity spinach. Ew, we've got to clean him up. But yeah, this whole bed practically is longevity spinach cuttings. I did this as soon as winter came around. No, not winter, spring came around. I did all these cuttings, and they're already starting to grow. I mean, they're starting to have new growth. And even though my cats keep breaking them, my cats keep jumping from here and into, inside. And so, yeah, they keep going over this section. So that section keeps getting broken off. And then I have some flower clocks. Those are not edible, but I am going to have them just for flowers, just because I love flowers. This is for the bees, yes. And then this guy's just a weed. The clover has all died off. In spring, it was super pretty, but now they're all dead. So, okay, so yeah, so we pretty much have clover, but just drying up. See, all of that's dried up clover. Everything's gone, but that's okay. But yeah, look, another nasturtium here, and it's already making seeds. So I'm excited about that, because I am gonna put them everywhere. And look at that. Yeah, longevity, more longevity. And then here is the mulberry that we actually had in the bottle tower. I had a video last year with this guy in it, and he's still in that square planter. It's still pretty small for him, I think, but that's what we had at the time. So I don't want to transplant him just yet. He's only, it's been 2 recently. So look at that. He's actually really pretty.